the possibility of reinfection with mutations?
Yes, there are, excuse me, over 100 vaccines that are in the preclinical stage of investigation. There are about a half a dozen vaccines that are in the phase 3 trials, 3 of which are going on in the United States, 3 are going on in other parts of the world, and others that are in various stages in the pipeline. So there's an incredible amount of activity that's going on in this area, which I just think is absolutely amazing. But all the vaccines that I'm aware of address the so-called spike protein, the S protein that was mentioned earlier. And I don't think, and I would love to have the other panelists weigh in on this, that any mutations that we are seeing would necessarily affect the response to the different vaccines. In other words, so the vaccines will still be effective. We don't think that COVID is going to act like influenza does, which mutates like crazy all the time. And that's why we have to have new vaccines for flu every year, and they typically will contain 3 or 4 different strains. COVID doesn't seem to behave that way, but I'd love to hear what my cohorts have to say.
Any of the other panelists want to add to that?
So, hi, it's Gary Klein. I just wanted to say, like, this particular trial has a combination of 2 antibodies. They're what are called non-competing. So they're actually work against different parts of the protein. The theory of that is if the virus did mutate against one of them, potentially the other antibody that's still in the cocktail would still prevent transmission.
Thanks, Dr. Kleiner. Dr. Jayavira, do you have something to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think COVID, as Dr. Bailey said, that COVID is not one of those smart viruses that hides its receptor binding domain from exposure. So it is easier to create a vaccine for COVID-19, and also it'll be extremely difficult for the COVID-19 to mutate and avoid the antibodies. So we believe that even if there are mutations, still our vaccines would work. I mean, most of the vaccines that have been developed. So we are quite optimistic. It wouldn't be like Dr. Bailey said that like influenza, where we had to be manufacturing vaccines every year.
Thank you for your questions, Julie.